Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. And it's, well, for you, a nice, beautiful Sabbath and the Lord's Day. I'm out here in the field. I had to move a calf around a little bit. He's the pickiest thing in the world, and driving him nuts. He's more of a goat, I think, than a little calf. A lot of this weed stuff, he just goes nuts for it, and it's not in his fence. So every once in a while I bring him out here and let him run around and eat it for a while, because he'll just belly ache until I do. He's as bad as one of the kids. There he is right there. Alright, well, let me find a spot that the lighting is going to work. I wanted to read a little scripture today out of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 15 through 18. See, I have set before you today life and good, death and evil. If you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, of Yahweh your Elohim, that I command you today, by loving the Lord your God, by walking in his ways, and by keeping his commandments and his statutes and his rules, then you shall live and multiply. And the Lord your God, Yahweh your Elohim, will bless you in the land that you are entering to take possession of. But if your heart turns away, and you will not hear, but are drawn away to worship other gods and serve them, I declare to you today that you shall surely perish. You shall not live long in the land that you are going over the Jordan to enter and possess. I think that pertains to us a lot. You know, all we have to do is just obey his commandments. It's really simple. I use the analogy so many times, it's not my creation. It's right out of the book, that we are his children, just in the same way as many of you watching, have children. And, you know, we try to, how many of you have ever had the one child that is a little rebellious, that just likes to kind of go against the grain? We have one of those. I think we're fortunate because the other children are pretty easy, and not that she's not. She's just a young girl getting ready to enter the teenage years. And sometimes, but all she has to do is just, obey what we tell her to do. Obey the rules that we set aside in the house, and the expectations that we have, our commandments, our statutes, and things would be great. She doesn't always, though, in the same way that we do that. The Bible, his word, is full of his commandments. That's what, a big portion of what the Torah is, the first 5 books. But there's commandments and guidelines and statutes throughout the book. And it says that we're supposed to follow them. That's what he says right here. That to obey his commandments. And we do that because we love him. By loving the Lord your God, by walking in his ways, and by keeping his commandments. Then you shall live and multiply. It's really simple. By following after him, by following his guidance, by loving him, and by keeping his commandments and statutes, then we show that we are his obedient children, and that we truly love him. I tell this to my children. If you love us, then you'll respect us, and you'll do as we say. And that is a way that we show that we love. Same way for us and the Father. If we love him, and we respect him, and revere him, and want to be like him, and want to follow after him, then one of the ways that we do that is by obeying him. Jesus, Yeshua, said pretty much the same thing, that we are to follow in his footsteps, and to strive to be like him. We can't completely be like him. We can't be completely perfect and in the ways that He is, but we can definitely try. We can live our life as that's our goal, is to be like Yeshua and to follow after Yah. I think that's something that's a struggle for us, as individuals and as adults. We think it's our way, and that all we got to do is just believe on Him, and He'll come into our heart, and we're good to go. Well, yeah, salvation, that's how salvation works. But if you love Him, aren't you going to want to do the things that He's set aside for you to do? And it's not difficult. Following His commandments are not complicated. They're not burdensome, which is what He says. They're not meant to cause great hardship on our lives. It's just teaching us to be a better person. It's the same thing that we tell our children. My rules, my guidelines, my expectations of your behavior are there to help you become a better person. I've had that discussion with my kids. So why would it not apply to me and to the Father in heaven? That we are striving to be like Him, and that in doing so, in showing our love and our admiration and our thankfulness to Him, we should also strive to follow His commands and obey His statutes and commands that He has set aside for us. It's not complicated. We try to make it sound complicated, and I guess compared to so much in this world it is, but it really isn't. So, as just a word of encouragement to you and to myself, I like doing these because I'm actually looking at myself while I'm doing them. So it's like I'm talking to myself. Travis, listen. Remember that as we, verbally express our love and mean it in our hearts, then we also should show that through actions, and our actions would be our obedience to Him and following the ways that He has set aside for us in the book. And don't look at it as it's this great struggle, as following Him is this great burdensome struggle. It's not. It's not. Do it with joy. Like I said last week, we should look upon it as a joyful thing. All right. Thank you, guys and gals, for watching. Thank you for stopping by on these Saturdays. I know it's not for everyone. Don't want to push it down anyone's throat and make anyone feel like they have to watch these. If you don't believe how I do, that's okay. But I do, for those that you do stop by and watch them, thank you. And thank you for your comments. It means a lot. All right, have a blessed Sabbath, and I will catch you in the next video.